The morning sun, or rather the three suns of Astroville, streamed through the windows of the Starling residence, casting a prismatic glow over the living area. The floating city of Astroville was already buzzing with activity, its skyways filled with flying vehicles and its citizens ready to embrace another day in the cosmos. In the Starling's hovering home, the scene was no different. Stella Starling, with her space phone pressed to her ear, floated in the zero-gravity lounge, her hair forming a halo around her head. "No, Jackson, I told you, the interstellar dance is next week, not this week," she said, rolling her eyes. "And yes, I'll wear the holographic dress you like. Ugh, boys from Mars, they never listen." From the kitchen, a robotic voice echoed with a hint of exasperation. "Stella, for the umpteenth time, can you please not leave your space boots in the hallway? And your brother's toys are everywhere. Don't I do enough around here?" MIRA, the household robotic assistant, hovered with a pile of clothes in her metallic arms, her screen displaying an animated frown. Luna Starling, looking radiant in her latest holographic outfit, chuckled as she sipped her asteroid coffee. "MIRA, darling, you know teenagers. They have their heads in the clouds. Or in this case, the stars." Max Starling, adjusting his tie, floated over and gave Luna a peck on the cheek. "Speaking of heads in the stars, did you hear about the black hole that went on a diet? It's now a light hole." He chuckled at his own joke. Luna laughed. "Oh, Max, your jokes are as timeless as the Big Bang." Milo, their young son, zoomed past on his hoverboard, nearly crashing into MIRA. "Sorry, MIRA, I'm late for my Space Scout meeting," MIRA huffed. "It's a wonder this house doesn't implode with all the chaos." Max winked at MIRA. "Well, if it ever does, I know a great space contractor." With a hearty laugh, he grabbed his briefcase. "All right, off to Cosmic Corporations. Big day today." As the door slid shut behind him, the Starling home was filled with the sounds of a typical morning. Laughter, bickering, and the ever-present hum of futuristic gadgets. Another day had begun in the life of the Starlings. Max's shoes clicked against the sleek metallic floors of Cosmic Corporations as he made his way to his boss's office. The building was a marvel of modern space architecture, with walls that shimmered like the Milky Way and windows that offered panoramic views of Astroville. As he entered the spacious office, his boss, Mr. Orion Blast, was hovering behind his desk, looking unusually stern. "Ah, Max," he began, not wasting any time. "I'm afraid I have some bad news. We've decided to go in a younger direction. Zane Zuma, our new intern, will be taking over your position." Max's jaw dropped. "You're replacing me with an intern?" he exclaimed, disbelief evident in his voice. Mr. Blast cleared his throat. "Zane has some fresh ideas, and well, he's more in tune with the latest interstellar tech." Max, feeling a rush of anger, retorted, "Oh, I get it. So, you want someone who can't tell the difference between a black hole and a donut hole?" Mr. Blast's face turned a shade of cosmic red. "Max, that's enough. It's just business." Max, not one to be easily defeated, shot back. "Well, Orion, I always thought you had stars in your eyes, but now I see they're just cataracts from old age." With that, he stormed out of the office. As he fumed his way to the parking lot, Max was so distracted that he didn't notice the massive space vehicle parked next to his. He bumped into it, causing a minor dent. The door of the large vehicle hissed open and out stepped an enormous man, muscles bulging from every inch of his spacesuit. Without a word, the man lifted Max off the ground, inadvertently ripping Max's pants in the process. As Max dangled in the air, a lady passing by couldn't help but chuckle. "Nice underwear, Max." The large man grunted, setting Max down. "Watch where you're going next time." Max, trying to salvage some dignity, muttered an apology and quickly hopped into his own space vehicle. But just as he was about to zoom away, a space officer floated over, handing him a ticket. "That's for the dent," the officer said with a smirk. Max groaned. Could this day get any worse? But as he tried to navigate out of the parking lot, he bumped into another large man getting into a space vehicle. Max braced himself, wondering what the universe had in store for him next. Max's space vehicle glided smoothly into the driveway of the Starling residence. The front door slid open automatically, revealing the familiar chaos of his home. As he stepped in, the rip in his pants was all too evident, and the ticket he held crumpled in his hand was a testament to his terrible day. Stella, once again engrossed in a conversation on her space phone, floated past him. Without missing a beat, Max quipped, "Stella, if you spent as much time on your homework as you do on that phone, you'd have a PhD in quantum cosmology by now." She rolled her eyes. "Dad, you're so stellarly dramatic." But she got the hint and floated off to her room. Before Max could take another step, Rusty, the family's robotic dog, leaped onto him with an enthusiastic bark, dropping a metal bone at Max's feet. Max tried to play fetch, but Rusty, ever the independent dog, grabbed the bone and zoomed back to his space dog house. MIRA, ever the multitasker, floated by with a tray of freshly synthesized space snacks. "Oh, Mr. Starling, I'm sorry about your pants," she said, her screen displaying a sympathetic emoji. But as she moved away, her muttering could be heard. "First clothes all over the place, now ripped pants. What next?" Luna, sensing her husband's distress, floated over and wrapped her arms around him. "Oh, Max," she sighed, "what a day you've had." Before Max could respond, Milo zoomed in, his eyes wide with excitement. "Dad, can I have some space bucks? There's a zero-gravity ball game tonight. The Astroville Astros are playing against the Nebula Navigators. They say it's going to be a match for the ages, with the new antimatter ball they're using." Max chuckled. "Antimatter ball? What happens if they miss a catch? Does the stadium disappear?" Milo laughed. "No, Dad, but it does make the game way more exciting." Handing over a few space bucks, Max ruffled Milo's hair. "All right, champ, enjoy the game. And remember, no betting on the outcome." With the house momentarily quiet, Max and Luna floated to their bedroom. As he plopped down on the bed, Max looked determined. "You know, Luna," he began, "I'm not going to let some intern take my job that easily. I've been at cosmic corporations for years. I'll figure out a way to get my position back." Luna smiled, her faith in her husband unwavering. "I know you will, Max. After all, you've always had a way of turning black holes into shooting stars." The next morning, the Starling residence was filled with the aroma of freshly synthesized space pancakes. Max, having had a restless night, stretched and yawned. "You know, Luna, I think our neighbors were at it again last night. I swear, if they keep fighting at this rate, they'll create their own black hole with all that negative energy." Luna chuckled. "Oh, Max, always with the cosmic jokes. But seriously, maybe they just need some space from each other." The breakfast table was a flurry of activity. Stella was multitasking between eating and texting. Milo was engrossed in a holographic game, and Rusty was eagerly waiting for any crumbs to fall his way. Max, determination evident in his eyes, said, "All right, family, wish me luck. I'm off to give Orion a piece of my mind." He winked at Luna, and maybe another joker or two. As he entered the grand lobby of Cosmic Corporations, Max's gaze landed on Zainazuma, the intern who had taken his job. Curiosity piqued, Max discreetly followed Zane into the cafeteria. Hiding behind a tall plant, Max eavesdropped on Zane's conversation with a mysterious individual. "I'm telling you, this software is top-notch, but you have to keep it on the down low. It technically belongs to StarTech Industries," Zane whispered. Max's eyes widened. "Bingo," he muttered to himself. "I knew there was something fishy about that intern." Feeling triumphant, Max made his way to Orion's office, ready to spill the beans. But as he rounded a corner, he bumped into the woman who had previously joked about his underwear. She looked him up and down, a smirk on her face. "Back for round 2, Max? I thought they fired you. Or did you just come to show off more of your stellar underwear collection?" Flustered, Max mumbled a quick retort and hurried past her. But as he entered Orion's office, in his haste, he tripped over a stray wire, sending him sprawling onto the floor and, once again, ripping his pants. Orion looked up from his desk, eyebrows raised. "Max, I see you're making quite the entrance. Again." Max, red-faced but undeterred, picked himself up. "Orion, we need to talk. And trust me, it's not about my pants this time. About my—" Max, still catching his breath from the fall, looked Orion squarely in the eyes. Orion, I overheard Zane talking in the cafeteria. He's using software from StarTech Industries. That's a breach of our company's policies, isn't it? Orion's face turned serious. If what you're saying is true, Max, then we have a major issue on our hands. Max, unable to resist, quipped, Well, I guess Zane's stellar performance isn't so out of this world after all, huh? So, boss, what's the plan now? Orion leaned back in his chair, pondering the situation. First, we need to verify this information. If it's accurate, then Max, you might just get that raise you've been asking for. Before Max could respond, Orion's secretary, Ms. Nebula, burst into the room, her face flushed. Oh, I thought you were alone, Mr. Blast. My apologies. Orion chuckled. Ms. Nebula, always crashing into situations like a comet, aren't you? She giggled. Well, I do have a knack for making stellar entrances. Max and Orion shared a laugh before setting off towards Zane Zoomer's office, which was located on the space walkway, offering a panoramic view of Astroville. As they walked, Max felt a breeze and realized, to his horror, that his pants had ripped again, revealing red underwear adorned with white hearts. The same lady from before walked by, took one look at Max's underwear, and burst into laughter. Max, you really are the universe's gift to comedy, aren't you? Ignoring the comment, Max and Orion reached Zane's office. The door slid open to reveal Zane, feet propped up on his desk, puffing on a space cigar, a picture of arrogance. Orion cleared his throat. Zane, we need to talk. Zane, not missing a beat, responded with a smirk. Ah, Max, back for more? And I see you've brought the boss with you. To what do I owe this unexpected visit? Max, trying to keep his cool, retorted, Well, Zane, let's just say we've heard some interesting things about your software choices. The atmosphere in the room grew tense, setting the stage for a confrontation that would determine the fate of Max's career at cosmic corporations. The Starling residence was buzzing with energy when Max arrived home. As the door slid open, he was greeted by a chorus of voices, each member of the family eager to share their day's events. Stella, her face glowing with excitement, floated towards him. Dad, guess what? I've been asked to the Astroville High homecoming dance. Can you believe it? Before Max could respond, Milo chimed in. Dad, I scored the highest in today's zero-gravity math test. But how was your day? Rusty, sensing the excitement in the air, zoomed around Max in circles, barking joyfully. In his enthusiasm, he slid right out the front door, crashing into the space trash cans. A muffled bark could be heard as he tried to disentangle himself. Luna, always the voice of calm, floated over and gave Max a gentle kiss. So, how did it go? Did you talk to Orion? Max, with a twinkle in his eye, responded, Hold on, everyone. I've got some news, and it's great. Not only do I have my job back, but I also got a big raise. Milo's eyes lit up. Does this mean we can finally get that floating space pool we've been dreaming of? Stella, ever the fashionista, added, And maybe some extra space bucks for a new dress for the dance. Luna, wrapping her arms around Max, said, I knew you'd figure it out. You always do. Max chuckled. Well, it wasn't easy, especially with my knack for ripping pants. But in the end, everything worked out. The family gathered around Max, celebrating the good news. The Starling residence was filled with laughter, joy, and the promise of better days ahead. MIRA, having overheard the good news, chimed in with her robotic voice, Congratulations, Mr. Max! But true to her nature, she quickly added, Though, I do hope this raise means you'll be buying more durable pants. She then began her usual grumbling, and while we're on the subject of improvements, maybe someone could invent a self-cleaning house. It's always clothes here, toys there. Max laughed. Luna, I really think it's time we took MIRA in for a tune-up. Maybe they can adjust her grumble settings. Luna winked. Oh, Max, you know MIRA. She might grumble and moan, but she's as loyal as they come. Besides, every family needs a little static in their lives. Just then, Rusty began to bark incessantly, leading Max into the kitchen. MIRA, in the midst of one of her classic rants about the importance of cleanliness, suddenly slowed down, her voice becoming distorted. And another thing, why is it so hard to clean up after... Her voice trailed off as her screen dimmed. Stella, realizing what had happened, exclaimed, "Oops! Looks like no one plugged her in last night." Max chuckled. "Well, I guess even robots need their beauty sleep." Stella, grabbing her purse, said, "Speaking of beauty, I'm off to get my dress for the dance." She floated towards the door of their Astroville suite, with Max following close behind. As they reached the door, Max put his arm around Stella. "You know, things are finally looking up for the Starlings." But as the door slid open, their smiles faded. Before them was one of the biggest space jams in the history of Astroville. Countless space vehicles of all shapes and sizes were at a complete standstill, their lights flashing and horns blaring in frustration. The Starling family gathered at the window, their faces a mix of shock and curiosity. Luna, breaking the silence, asked, "What on Earth, or rather Astroville, has caused all space traffic to come to such a halt?" The scene set the stage for yet another adventure for the Starlings, as they tried to unravel the mystery of the great Astroville space jam.